Shalom, Yahweh Shalom, Shabbat Thom, sorry, brother, Shalom, Yahweh Shamar, Thom, Shalom, Shabbat, sisters, ISBK, Minnesota, with the Lashawan Qadash class. Last week, we went over some prophets' names. We are going over a lot more, and some of the books as well. We are going to kind of continue this as of right now. And then once we actually get towards the end, whenever I choose to end it, we are going to get into another prayer and break that all the way down. Okay? So there's a theme in a series that I have that we are going to do. Okay? So for those that are following along, watching online, share the content, tag people that may love English, may love anything concerning language, and we are going to get into it. Okay? If you have any questions or concerns, you want to make sure that you go ahead and type it into the chat. All right? So let's get to it. So we left off last Friday with Ezekiel. Do we remember how to say Ezekiel in Hebrew? You wrote it down, right? Everything that was on the board, right?
No, I didn't do that.
Okay, all right. Okay. So how about last week? You wrote it down last week?
When you had the extra class?
Right.
I didn't write that one down. I didn't do that.
Say it again.
I didn't do that class last week.
Okay, but like watching online is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I can watch it. I might watch it tonight.
Okay, all right. No sweat. All right. So we left off with Ezekiel, and we are going to go ahead and move forward. So let's get to it. Let's not waste some time. All right. So far, do you have any questions on it?
No, sir.
All right, no problem. All right. How you say Ezekiel in Hebrew is going to be Ikazakal. Ikazakal. That's how you're going to say that. Okay. Yeah. So if you want to, I'll put it up on the board real quick.
Okay.
All right. So this is what we left off with last week. We have the ka, not cha, is ka. And then we have the z, and the kwa, and the la. But the only thing is there's no a with the la, because the kwa and the la is connected together. And this is Ezekiel. Ezekiel was a prophet during the time of Babylon, the Babylonian captivity. Okay? So Ezekiel and Jeremiah was around the same time with the Babylonian captivity.
Look off the call.
Because of Paul. That's how you say Ezekiel. All right. I'm gonna give y'all a second to write that down, then I'm gonna erase it and really get into the other names that I want to get into. Just let me know when you're done, and I'll go ahead and erase it and move forward.
Okay.
You done? All right. All right, so go ahead and erase that real quick. All right. Once again, we are going to take our time and break this down. If you decide to write the language out in Hebrew first, then the Assyrian, that is your choice. There's no set order. This is how I do it. This is how I learn how to study and break down the language myself. All right? If you want to follow the pattern that I'm going into, that's fine. Otherwise, if you choose to do something different within the protocol of the proper language, go ahead and do so. Whether you want to put the Hebrew first and the Syrian at the bottom, it's up to you. Once again, if you have any questions or concerns, you can put it in the chat or ask in the room. So- all right. Let me know if I should write the words bigger or smaller. All right, for those that's watching online. So at the top we have the Assyrian. At the bottom we have the ancient Hebrew. Once again, there are no vowels in Hebrew at all. The modern day Hebrew that you see today is called Yiddish. And that should scream nothing but red flags, because the Yiddish is kind of like the Hebrew, but not 100%. The Hebrew that we're doing here is 100%. That's why it's called ancient Hebrew, not modern Hebrew. Two different things. And the word ish, as in ISH, means kind of alike something. For example, if you see somebody who has a colored shirt, pants, or shoe on, and they say that it's black, but you know your color, so you will say that it's not really black, it's blackish. It's not all the way black, but it's kind of black. It's a different shade of black. So it's not 100%. You see what I'm saying? So it's blackish, not all the way black. If you think about the show, blackish. What does blackish mean? It means kind of like the color, but not 100% that color. All right? And that's understandable, right?
Yeah.
All right, so you got that down so far?
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's break it down.
See, it's our I.
Yep, you got it just right. Yep, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, so yeah, all right. So this right here, what is this doing? That's huh. Yep, so what we're gonna do right here is break it down. You got an HA, which is huh, okay? And it's by itself, which is called open parenthesis. So if it's by itself, you spell the whole thing out, the whole letter out. So that's huh, HA, you spell it all the way out, huh. All right? What, which is so WA. All right, so we got the what, and then what is this? So it would be shy. So, but what is this? No, but what is this right here? And then what is that? So since it's connected, something drops off. It's going to be the A. The A is going to drop off for sh. So it's going to be shy. So SHI. How was shy? It sounds like yeah, how was shy, but it's not. It's how was shy. Very similar, not the same thing. Okay.
So the A drop off?
Yeah, the A drops off for sh. Because I is by itself, as you see right here, right? By itself. Right? You see right here? I is by itself. So the I will not drop off, the A will have to drop off for the sh. Now, what does Hawashai mean in Hebrew? That's the question. And here's the answer. It is going to be Hosea. The prophet Hosea in the Bible. But let me show you something, right? Some people spell it like this. Some people spell it like that, Hosea, otherwise Hosea. It's what you're going to see in the actual Bible. See?
Okay.
Some people spell it like this, Hosea or Hosea. It's really Hosea. Okay? I put that up there on purpose. You can write down both just in case. Because you might see that in the future. That's pretty important. All right. So, Hosea. The name means deliverer. Right. You gotta think about it. What does Joshua mean? From last week? What does Joshua mean? It's spelled Hawashai, Yahawashai, right? Like Yahawashai and Mashiach. But what does that name mean? Yahawashai name means salvation. What is salvation? I just said it right here. Salvation means deliverance.
Deliverance, okay. See,
That's what salvation means. It means deliverance. All right, so as you see, Yahushai and Hawashai is very similar. One says salvation, the other one says deliverer. Okay? Joshua is Yahushai. Joshua, English, the Hebrew version of that is Yahushai, which means salvation. If you study the scriptures, you will know every time it talks about salvation, it's always referred to Yahushua being the one to give us the salvation, which means that you are being delivered from something.
right.
When that something is called hell. That's what you are being delivered from. Okay? If you're not going through any trouble, no oppression, no hell, you don't need salvation. Ask yourself this question. Do so-called Esau, all right? It's like not so-called Esau, the so-called Europeans, the East Indians, the Africans, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Arabs, do they need salvation?
No.
Why not?
But the law and testament came to the children of Israel.
That's very true, but they're not going through hell. They don't have oppression. We do.
Right.
Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians have oppression. So we have to be delivered. We need salvation. We need it as of right now, today, at this very moment, because we're all going through hell.
Yeah.
Those brothers and sisters out there at the borders, Haiti and Mexico, they need salvation.
Come.
All right? That's why the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we are here to give them salvation and help them, achieve that.
That's right.
All right? So let's keep going. All right. All right. We got the next one on the board. Take your time, write it down. If you have questions, continue to ask the questions in the chat, and we'll get to it.
Okay, I got it down.
Okay, let's see.
No.
All right, so first one is going to be Hawashai, which is Hosea, which means deliverer. Now the next one that we have on the board. Let's break it down. What is this right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, which is YA. 1 second. So we have yeah. What's next?
What?
What? Yeah. All right. What's next? Okay. But the is
Okay, close.
so it's connected
It's
to
connected.
what?
La.
Love. So it's going to be A, H, right? It's like this. Give me a second. Hold on. Not right. YA, WA, A, H, L.
Oh, the A, you drop the A?
Yep, drop the A for the love.
Yeah, Yawa'ah.
Yawa'ah. There you go. That's perfect.
Yawa'ah.
Yes. Yawa'ah is how you pronounce it. Yes.
Yawa'ah.
Mm-hmm. Yawa'ah. Yawa'ah is how you pronounce it. That is correct.
Yeah.
Yawa'ah.
Why do you drop the A?
The A drops off for the love.
Or when it's like that, when it connect, you drop off something.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
that was connect,
Right.
you drop off something. Okay, I got you.
Right. Yep. And you see, ya is by itself. The wa is by itself. The us is pretty much by itself, so it's connected to the love. So towards the end of the word, the end of it, which is the love, that's the end of the word, something has to drop off. In most cases. In some cases, the might lose the H. It might lose part of this letter. Okay? But Yawa'ah is how you pronounce it. Yawa'ah is, in the English, is going to be Joel. Yeah, Joel. All right. You know the prophet Joel?
Yeah, that looks familiar, but I don't think I've read him that much.
Right. Okay. Joel has a few chapters, about three to four, maybe five. What you're going to read in the book of Joel is prophecies that's to come in the future that has not happened yet. And those prophecies I was speaking about is the end of Esau's kingdom.
Okay.
It's talking about war.
So it's talking about future prophecy.
Future prophecy, yes.
Okay.
That is going to happen very soon. I can't tell you the date or the time, but I can let you know that it is happening
Right now.
very quickly. All right? When it talks about how all the different countries are going to go to war with each other,
Right.
and they are going to pretty much, as they're going into war with each other, in the midst of that, the Most High is going to destroy them. And it's talking about Yahushua coming to the earth to destroy it.
Come on.
So yes, all right. So Joel is a very good book. It's not that long as far as the chapters. It's a good read. Usually when we are at camp, we pull Joel all the time. Okay. Sometimes we would pull the book of Joel and during class too. All right. It's a very good book when it comes to talking about war.
It's Old Testament.
It is the old, if I'm not mistaken. I can help you out. Let's check and see. Yeah, Joel should definitely be, let's see. Yeah, Joel's the Old Testament. Okay.
You said it's about 3 chapters.
Yeah, it's about three. Yep, three chapters, exactly. Yep. Each chapter is very good. There's a lot of knowledge in there that you would like, that you should study.
I read it. I can try to.
Oh, yeah, it's not long chapters either, okay? So
Okay.
now, the question is, what does Joel mean? Yahweh, okay? What does Yahweh mean in Hebrew? All right? So of course, if you never read the book, I'll just give you the answer. If you read the book, you will understand, all right? So, the definition is, God is his God. So now, let me put that in perspective for you. Because a lot of people might ask, what the hell does that mean? God is his God. That doesn't make sense at all, right? Let me give it to you.
That makes sense.
Okay.
God is his guy.
Yeah. So how does it make sense? Can you explain?
God is Joel God.
That's what his name means.
Yeah.
Joel is not a God necessarily.
Right.
Well, all prophets of the Most High are gods.
Yeah. I was trying to say God, Joel inspired the prophet with the tell the children the future. Prophet what's going on in the truth. If that sound okay?
Okay. So, what does the word God mean? Because God is a title.
God, this is like to direct somebody, to lead somebody.
Okay. God means power or authority.
Oh, you say God, so you say God.
No, God.
Oh, God.
G-O-D.
Yeah, God.
God is his God.
Oh, I'm looking. Sorry.
Right. That's what. You're not God. God is different, but God. As in someone serves a God. So you gotta ask yourself, what does the word God means? It does mean power or authority. It's a title.
Yeah.
Anytime a person say, I serve God, you always have to ask them that question, which one? Because many people are called gods, right?
Right. That's false God.
Right. So God means power or authority.
So God is Joel's God.
No. That's what his name means.
Okay, God is God.
God is his God, meaning power is his power.
Okay.
So power is his power. But of course, Joel had the power to prophesy what was to come in the future.
Right.
God is his God, meaning power is his power.
God is God.
And then of course, it is talking about the Most High as well. All right, you understand that? It is talking about the Most High as well.
Right.
So it's like saying, my son is my son.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter is my daughter. My brother is my brother. It's like a statement, if that makes sense. God is his God. Someone says, who is your God? This man right here, God is my God. So God is his God. Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. It's not that hard to think about, to break down, but you get the point. Let's move forward. So you got that all down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. Let's go ahead and move forward. How often do you study the Bible?
Read.
Yes.
I want to read most time about
Say it again.
1 or 2 hours every night.
Okay, that sounds about right. That sounds good. One time first. Oh, I don't know why I always do that. Wait a second. All right, that's the next one. All right, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is this right here? I. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Ma.
Which is by itself. So I-M-A. Okay.
Wa. Wa.
And the word's connected
Wa.
to.
So.
Okay.
A drop.
So it's going to be W-A-S.
So you drop the A.
The A drops off for
Soft.
sub. Yeah, sub.
I'm a wa.
Yeah, I'm a was.
I'm a wa.
I'm a was, yeah. And I'm going to show you what I'm a was is. So I'm a was in the English is going to be Amos.
Amos.
Amos, yeah. Do you know the book Amos?
Yeah.
In the prophet?
Yeah, really Amos.
Amos, yeah. Now this is not Amos, okay? I always gotta tell brothers that it's not Amos, it's Amos. All right. If there are no vowels in ancient Hebrew whatsoever. Can you tell me all the vowels that are in the English language?
A, E, I, O, U, so that Y.
There you go, yeah. Mm-hmm. So there are no vowels, okay? So I'm a was, Amos, not Amos, Amos, okay? Have you ever read the book of Amos?
Mm-hmm.
Right, so Amos 5:21 is a very popular scripture which speaks about the Lord shall not smell in your solemn assemblies. A solemn assemblies. What is a solemn assembly? Do you know?
He would not spell.
Smell.
You know, so I'm similar.
Right.
Christmas, Thanksgiving, them.
There you go. All your celebrations that are not about Him.
Scripture, right?
But the Most High will smell in the solemn assemblies that have to do with Him.
Right.
For example, the feast of the closing, the opening and the closing of the Feast of Tabernacles, the blowing of the trumpets. What's coming up? The Feast of Dedication, which is Hanukkah, which people in the world, classifies it as Hanukkah. Okay, that's coming up in November 28th. All right, that's the next feast day, and that's going to be the last one for so-called 2021.
You'll be here.
Huh?
You'll be here.
It's always here. Yes.
Good.
Yep. Everything that we do is supposed to be in the school.
You say gonna be on the 20th?
November 28th. Next month. As of today, Friday is October 1st. It's no longer September. All right. So Amos. The name means this right here. Actually, let me just. I like to put in big bold letters in a second. burdensome. That's what Amos means. If you read the book, let's say that you did not read the entire book of Amos, it means his name means burdensome.
Okay.
And I will just give you a quick summary. When you read that this entire book, you will start to see the condition of the Israelites. Because we are a stubborn people.
That's right.
We carry burdens as a nation. Once you read the whole entire book, you will understand his name and his position, just like everybody else. In each book, you start to understand their position and why they were given that name. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And understand that the Most High doesn't make mistakes when it comes to our names.
Right.
All right? It's very, very hardcore, very important. Moving on. All right. And select me 1 second. All right. All right. So select, you can do 1 second here. Boom. Here we go. All right, that's the next one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters. Okay. We have 5 letters that's going to create a word. Also, too, someone did have a question a while ago, based on so the English. If you see certain letters, right? No, I mean, really in any language. The number of letters is not going to match up with the numbers of how the word comes out. If that makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. Just so that we understand. Because as you see, for example, Amos is 4 letters, but Anawas is 6 letters. Right? So, yeah. We want everybody to understand and know that the English and the ancient Hebrew has no comparisons, no correlations whatsoever. It's completely opposite and different.
Okay, I got it. Yeah.
All right. Give me 1 second. So, what is the first one? First letter?
I,
Yep. Okay.
but,
By itself? Yep, bug. That's right. Perfect. B-A.
duh,
D-A. As in dog. Now, as you see, you kind of see the pattern as lately it's kind of been connected towards the end.
mm-hmm.
Now, it's not always going to be like that, but it's kind of just a pattern as of right now. So, what is that?
Yeah,
And then what is that?
yeah, ha,
Yep. So it's going to be How would you pronounce this?
So you drop the A?
Yep, the A for.
Ha.
There you go. Right. Yes.
Abadaya.
Yep. Abadiah.
Abadaya.
Abadiah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Abadaya.
Abadiah.
Abadaya.
Abadiah. Yep. Otherwise, you have another name which is Ibadia. So the A is off there, but the A is gone. Ibadia. You have a brother in school by the name of Ibadia. Which is very similar to
Abadaya.
Yep. So let me show you what Abadiah means in English, what prophet this is. Can you guess so far? Based on the
Obadiah.
Obadiah. Obadiah. That's right, yep. There you go. Oh, you know what I'm doing this time wrong. Hold on. The arrows, and the arrows going on. And, all right. Obadiah. Obadiah is Abadiah in the Hebrew. As you see, it's very similar, right? Can't you hear it?
Yeah, Obadiah.
Yeah.
Obadiah.
Yeah, Obadiah.
Abadaya.
Yep. But then it sounds like an actual English, like English name.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So Obadiah is a prophet. You'll see Obadiah through some of the chapters. I'm sorry, some of the chapters of some of the books in the Bible. Obadiah only has one chapter for the book, but that chapter is very amazing. Right, yep. And since there's no E's once again in Hebrew, so it's going to be an A. So Obadiah. But that was still good. The only thing is it's supposed to be an A instead of an E. All right, Obadiah. So but not B. Obadiah. It's Obadiah. All right. So Obadiah. Okay, Obadiah. Okay. So now Obadiah only has one chapter, and when you read that chapter, I believe it has about maybe 10 verses, or maybe a little over 10 verses. Let me see. Yeah, one chapter has 21 verses, okay? So, it's like, when you read this book, it is going to show you the guilt, the shame, and transgression of Esau as far as what he did to his brother Jacob. Because what happened between Esau and Jacob, or better yet, what happened before Esau and Jacob in the scriptures? What happened before?
Before.
Mm-hmm. Like what happened before and what's going on today?
I know he sold his birth right to his brother.
That's right.
For a piece of morsel meat.
So I'll give you a clear example, right? Let me go ahead and read it for y'all. And by the way, sis, Kawal, good job. That was very good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read some for the people that's watching, for those that's in class as well. So, Obadiah 1 and 10, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob,
Right.
shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. This is something that's going to happen in the future. Because of the violence that Esau has done to Jacob, meaning all the police brutality, all the killing, all the false imprisonment, all the abortion, all the crazy, inhumane things that Esau has done to us, he is going to pay for it. And that's called what? When someone pays for a crime, what's that called?
Pay for the penalty.
Mm-hmm. But what does the Bible call it?
Punishment.
Punishment. Okay, so what is the opposite of crime?
Opposite of crime,
Mm-hmm.
good.
No, that's bad. Opposite of bad is good. But what's the opposite of crime? Justice.
Justice, right.
Right. See what I'm saying? That's why they have judges. Judges give justice or punishment.
Right.
All right. So if there's a crime, someone has to be brought to justice.
Right.
All right, based on that crime. Somebody got to pay a penalty. Someone's going to have to pay for it.
Right.
All right. And so on this hand, Esau, who is our oppressor,
Right.
the one that shoots us down in the street,
Right.
who always gets away with murder, the one that killed George Floyd, the one that killed Sandra Bland, Eric Gardner, Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, et cetera, they are going to have to pay for the violence against Jacob, which is us, the Israelites. Okay? Now, what do you think Obadiah name means?
Obadiah.
Yep.
Obadiah.
Obadiah, what do you think his name means? I'll take any right or wrong answer. That's key. Right, yep, that is correct. It says judgment or otherwise justice. Okay? And when you do get a judgment, that is justice. Okay, that's a point. That is justice. All right. Okay. So Obadiah's name means the definition is serving God. That's what his name means. And he also was around I messed it up. All right. So Obadiah was around the time of let me see, Elijah. You know who Elijah is, right?
Yeah.
All right. Serving God. All right, serving God. That's what his name means. So yeah, Obadiah was around the time of Elijah, Ahab. If you don't know who Ahab is, Ahab was he was a Judite brother who was reigning over Israel for 13 years, I believe. Between 13 and 20 years, he was ruling over Israel, and his wife was no other than Jezebel, who was an African woman.
Yeah.
And she was having the prophets killed underneath his rulership. So he knew about it. And Obadiah and Elijah was hiding the prophets in the caves so that way they did not get killed by Jezebel, because she was a wicked, disgusting woman who, once again, I said she was an African. Don't forget that. She was a stinking, disgusting Hamite, okay, who was getting us killed. I want to say, I think Daniel might have been around that time too. All right, I'm not sure. I want to say Daniel was around that time as well. All right. All right. So moving on, serving God. That's what the name means. Let's keep on. All right, that's the next one. Once again, if you got any questions or concerns, go ahead and ask them and get to it. All right, give me 1 second here. All right, so okay, 1 second. All right. Oh yeah, so far all these books that we have been getting into are in the Old Testament. Once again, I'm doing this at a random order, just like I did with the first two set of names that we did for the past 2 weeks. All right, so far some of these are in the Old Testament, some are in the New Testament. Okay, we are just randomly going through some of them, but I really want to touch on every single book in the Bible, or at least popular. How can I say it? Popular people in the Bible as well. And you are going to see a few in the future. You are going to see some sisters' names in here that are in the scriptures as well, that are very famous, like Mary, Elizabeth, Deborah, all right, Esther, Ruth, etc., etc. All right, maybe Rachel, Leah. I might throw some of those names in there. Okay, so and this is good to do, just to show people, just to get familiar with some of the names that you see in the Bible, that the people that we speak about all the time throughout the Bible. All right, so let's keep it moving. All right, Ryan, my brother, can you start me off? What is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah. So you
Yeah.
always say yeah, not yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So is it by itself or is it connected?
It's by itself.
Mm-hmm. So that'll be YA. Okay.
Yeah.
That's gonna be yeah. All right. My Y looks a little weird. I think my Y is on drugs. Give me a second. It looks a little funny. That looks better. Okay. So YA. Keep going. What's next?
Wa.
A W, which is WA. All right. What's next?
Na. Ha.
It's gonna be, but it's connected though. So it's not gonna be nah.
Right. So you gonna drop the A.
Yep. Drop the
Nah.
A. So it's gonna be nah.
Na.
Nah. That's right. Correct. Nah. Boom. And this is a very good, interesting prophet. I believe he has about 4 chapters. He has 4 chapters in this book. It's pretty short, but it's a very good read. This is going to be Yoanna. Yoanna is Jonah. You hear it? Jonah, Yoanna. Jonah. Okay? Jonah is going to be Jonah. Jonah.
Or na.
Yep, Yoanna, which is Jonah. And if you know about the story of Jonah, we bring this out for prophecies. We bring this out. We always mention him based on. We mention Jonah based on prophecy, depression, for a few things. Okay, so the story, just give you a backstory. What with brother Jonah, he was told by the Lord to go to Nineveh.
Right.
Nineveh was a place no one really goes to no more, by the way. Nineveh was a place where there were children of Israel that were sinning. And he was told by the Most High to go to that place and tell them if they do not repent, the Most High will destroy Nineveh. Okay? He would destroy it in a certain amount of time. All right? So, at first, he didn't do it. He didn't follow the order. And he was on a boat, and there was a big storm that was happening. And the people was like, who is on this boat that's causing this? Because they knew that the only reason why this big storm is happening out of nowhere, it had to be the Lord, and the Most High was definitely dealing with somebody, and that somebody was Jonah. Wow. So Jonah pretty much, got found out that it was him that needed to do the work of the Lord. He wasn't trying to do it. The Most High had a big fish swallow him. Now, a lot of people think that this story is fictional, but it's very true. There's an actual story and live video of a man being swallowed up by a big fish, and he never died. You wanna know why? Because big fish have a pouch in their throat, so where there's you can breathe. There's air, there's water in that pouch where they breathe. Okay? So Jonah survived, but he was in that fish or that animal, sea animal, for about 3 days. And he got spit out to land. Now once that happened, he went to Nineveh and he pretty much told the people, if you guys do not repent, this is going to happen. So when they decided to repent, he got sad and depressed. The reason why? Because the Most High did not destroy that place, because it was supposed to be a prophecy. But if you know anything about the Most High, you know that if you show him something as far as your obedience and discipline, you can change his mind. So the Most High did not destroy Nineveh. And Jonah thought that his prophecy wasn't true. It wasn't real. So he hid behind a big pumpkin. Okay? He hid behind this pumpkin. And the Most High destroyed the pumpkin. And he had nothing else to hide from. So that's just a little backstory from Jonah. But Nineveh did get destroyed 40 years later. Because Israel started to sin again. 40 years later, after Jonah told them what they had to do, that place got destroyed. So, what does Jonah mean in the Hebrew? Or it's like a definition? It means dove. You know what a dove is, right?
A bird?
A dove.
A bird?
There you go, right, yep. A dove is a bird. Otherwise, Jonah means, or Yawanah means dove or wine. It all depends on the context. Okay? All right? So dove is like a bird. Wine as in, wine that you drink. Okay? That's what his name means. Yawanah. Dove or wine.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So,
All right. So let's move forward. Okay. All right. All right, so that's the next one. Jot it down. Then, all right. All right, then we're done.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so what is this one right here?
Ma.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So M-A-Y-A. Keep going. Actually, hold on, slide. That initials neat. M-A-Y-A. Okay.
Ka.
So K-A.
Ka. Ha. Ma. Yeah. Ka. Ma.
Mayuka.
Yeah. Ma.
Mayuka.
Ka.
Mayuka is how you pronounce it.
Ma. Ka.
Mayuka. Yeah.
Ma.
Mayuka.
Hey, you dropped the A, right?
Yep. You drop the A for the H. That's correct. Mayuka. Mayuka is going to be Micah.
Mike.
Yep. Do you remember the prophet
Yeah,
Micah?
definitely.
Yeah. Micah. All right. What do you know about Micah?
Me? Yep. I mean, one particular talking about Michael.
Say it again.
One piece I remember, a few of them.
Okay, I'm listening.
We had the grapes, summer fruit, and Michael, she's got a Miami, shall see and change, shall cover up with self joy, the Lord that God mine shall behold her. She shall be traveling out there like the mile of the street.
Okay. And what chapter is that?
Michael 7 and 10.
That sounds about right. Okay. Actually, I'll go ahead and read that. Yep, so Micah 7 and 10, then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord thy God? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the myrrh of the streets. Okay, that's good. That's perfect. I see you got a good memory.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So Michael. Now. So what it means is, of course, in the second. All right. The definition of his name. Also, too, like when you do read this book, it's only 7 chapters, so it's one of those short books. When you do read the book of Micah, what you are going to see is, once again, you're going to see a little bit about war. You're going to see a little bit of oppression, and it's going to give you something clear and cutthroat to let you know and see how the oppressor is today. Micah is one of those good books that you really want to read if you want to get in depth of oppression. Okay. All right, so definition is who is like God. Who is like God? That's what Michael's name means.
Okay.
All right. Who is like God? So you got it written down?
Got it all down, sir.
All right. So we move forward. One second. All right. That's the next one. All right, let me know when you're done.
Done.
All right. So, what is this right here?
Not
Mm-hmm. And what is this?
cut.
Good. That's correct. Yeah. When you put it together, how is it supposed to be spelled?
Not cut.
It's connected. So how would it be spelled?
Okay. N-A-C-H-A.
Nope. N-A-C-H.
N-A-C-H.
Yeah.
And you dropped the two A's.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's correct. That was good. That was very good. Because I would have thought the same thing, which I used to, but when I did my research, nope. There's actually two A's dropped off. All right. So that was very good. What's the next two letters that are connected?
Not cut one. Oh, I'm sorry. Plug, yeah.
No, you're fine. You are right.
What? Ma.
So when you put it together, something has to drop off. Does something drop off at the beginning of the word or the ending?
The any.
That's correct. So how would I spell that out? You got it. I know you got it.
What? Drop the A, M, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not Kawam.
Nope. Is WAM.
Not,
Not one.
okay, not one. Got you, Charlie.
Yep. Not one. Yep. Not one. Not one. All right.
Well, let's drop it to A.
Mm-hmm. So NACH
Not,
WAM. Not one.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Naquan. Naquan is Nahum.
Nahum.
Do you know what Nahum is?
Oh, that's how you pronounce it?
Nahum. Nahum.
Yeah. I remember the word.
Yeah, Nahum. Yeah, Nahum was another prophet. Going into the topic of punishment and a little bit about oppression and for the Israelites, Nahum is a good book to get into.
Going to do oppression?
Oppression, a little bit about war, punishment concerning our oppressor. You can read all that in you can read all that in Nahum. Let me see something real quick. And Nahum only has 3 chapters as well. Okay. All right, so you ready for the definition?
Yes, sir.
All right. So actually, have you read anything in Nahum?
Yeah, I read it a little bit.
So you have?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. All right, so what Nahum means, as far as the definition of the name, it's pretty long too, by the way. It's going to mean sigh. Uh,
But not for one, right?
yeah, not wrong, not Kowan, it's not wrong.
No.
Yeah, so there's no A right there, so it's not wrong.
No.
Like, for example, we actually have a brother in the school in Philly, his name is Officer Knock. So, NACH, Officer Knock. Which is, my brother right there.
No.
Yeah, he's from Philly, that's my man's right there. He a rapper as well.
Okay.
Yeah, he raps in school. As you know, brothers in the UK do rap.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of music.
Yeah. Okay. Give me 1 second, Dwayne. Sorry about that. All right. And let's set that up. All right, so Naquam, which is Nahum, it means sigh, as in like, when you sigh. You know what that means, right?
Who?
Sigh.
To be silent.
No. When you sigh. Like, have you ever heard a book that says a person sighed? You ever heard that before?
Mm-hmm.
Sigh is like, it's like, You never heard that before?
No, sir.
Okay. So sigh is like a expression that you show, where you show that you're kind of like distressed, tired, something like that.
Okay.
How do you show that you're tired?
I'm going to sleep. I'm tired.
No. But how do you show it in your face expression or your body language? Like, give me a demonstration of side. I'm sorry. It's like give me a demonstration of someone being tired or they're just going through a hard time.
Tired.
That's sigh. Sigh is to take a deep, audible breath, as in weariness or relief, or to make it sound like sighing or breathe, as in breathing. That's what sigh is. Okay? So sigh, to be sorry, pity, rue, as in someone like ruin the day, repent, or comfort. That's what the brother name means, all right? So let's go ahead and recap real quick. We are at the time. Hawashai, which is Hosea, which means
deliverer.
and this word is
Yahweh.
Yahweh, which means
Joel.
in the English, in the definition.
God is God. God is his God.
That's right. Hebrew word.
I'm Mawas.
I'm was in the English.
Amos.
That's right. His definition.
Burdensome.
Burdensome.
I Abadiah.
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 No.
Abadiah.
No. This is in English.
Okay. Keep nothing now. What's wrong with me?
So look, so this is okay. Say this one more time. So Abadiah, and this is
Obadiah.
Obadiah.
Obadiah, yeah.
Because this is in the English, it's not Hebrew.
I don't know if we break it.
Yeah, this is the Hebrew, this is the English. So that's Obadiah.
Yeah.
So it looks exactly how it says.
Obadiah.
You say exactly how it looks.
Obadiah.
And what's this?
Yahweh.
Yahweh. So that's the Hebrew, and this is the English.
Jonah.
Which is, it's like it. What does Obadiah mean?
Serving God.
Okay, and what does Jonah mean?
Dove and wine.
Dove and wine, yes, all right. In Hebrew?
Mayaka.
Mayaka.
No.
Mayaka.
Mayaka.
Yeah, Mayaka. You got it perfect. And this is?
Michael.
No, Michael. Yeah, Michael is longer.
Okay.
Michael is Michael. Michael, but this is Micah. Micah, right.
Micah.
Yeah. Michael is way longer, has an H and all types of stuff in it. And Micah means what?
Who is like God?
All right. They're right here.
Na Kawan.
No.
Na Wong.
Knock one. All right. Knock. Like you knock at the door.
Yeah.
It's like that. Knock one. And what is the English?
Nahum.
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 Yep. Nahum, and his name means what?
Sorry, to be sorry, pity, rude, ruler,
No, rude.
repent, or comfort.
Right. You know what rude is, right? Like when someone say, you have ruined my day.
Oh yeah, ruin. Okay, that's
Yeah. Rude or ruin spelled different, but they mean the same thing.
Oh, that's better. Our.
So R-U-E, yeah, like rude, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me see, let me spell check to make sure. Yeah, or rude that bitterly regrets one has done or allowed to happen. So rude is the same thing as ruin. Okay. So that being said, that is the class. Meet us next week as we get into Lashawan Qadash, all right? So I'm going to say Shalom, Yahweh Shem Shabbat to our brothers, Shalom, Yahweh Shamar, Adam Bashim Shaw, all the sisters. That being said, Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, we'll sign across. Clap it up.